Hey everyone, it's Tanya, your personal credit coach. Today, I've got a serious message for anybody out there with a collection or charge off account or accounts, plural, sitting on the credit report. If you've been ignoring that debt, thinking it'll magically go away, or if you got it deleted from your credit report and thought, well, that's the end of it, you need to watch this video because the lawsuits are coming. And the folks who are getting sued, it's not just people with $20,000 in debt, it's people with $1,500, $1,000, $500. I see this every single day. Let me show you what's happening. If you've ever browsed any of these forums on social media for credit repair, you may have seen something similar to this: being sued and lawyer isn't budging on settlement, being sued for debt collection, even though I returned the item and have proof. I agreed to settlement today. Default judgment made, which basically means their wages are about to get garnished. Debt collection lawsuit. Sued, settled, requested to appear. Being sued by Bank of America. Being sued by creditor, PRA, portfolio recovery. Being sued by Capital One. Need advice on how to proceed. Sued by Discover 6 years ago. Got the notice in the mail today. I bet you Discover filed right before the statute of limitations ran out. And I'll talk to you about that in a minute. I'm being sued. Advice? I'm being sued by Capital One, being sued by Discover Bank, sued by Debt Collector, sued for charge off by American Express slash Chase, sued by LVNV. Okay, so I think you get what I'm sharing here. So today's video is for everyone thinking I'll just wait it out. Maybe it'll go away, or I got it removed from my credit report. I'm good now. Let me tell you, you're not safe. You're not good now just because it's off your credit report. And if you're not taking action, like strategic action, these companies are coming for you. Here's what nobody tells you, not the credit repair companies, not the credit gurus. When you first see a collection or charge off hit your credit report, that balance that you see, that is not just a number. That balance is a lawsuit waiting to happen. And today's debt buyers like LVNV funding, Midland credit management, portfolio recovery, or even the original creditors, Capital One, Discover, they are not playing. They are suing people left and right. The moment they see that you're not responding, you're not pushing back, you're not requesting proof, you're not verifying anything, they move to court. And once that lawsuit is filed, it freezes the debt clock, that statute of limitations. And no, this is not random. This is strategic on their part, and it happens every day. According to court data, thousands of debt lawsuits are filed daily across the US. And in fact, debt collection lawsuits account for more than one in every four civil cases in many state courts. And I'll say that again: one in four lawsuits is for unpaid debts. And who's doing the suing? It's not always the big name credit card companies. A huge portion of these cases come from debt buyers, like the ones I've mentioned: LVNV funding, Midland credit management, portfolio recovery, Jefferson Capital, Resurgent Capital, and yes, even the original creditors, as mentioned, Capital One, then there's Discover, then there's Synchrony. They're still very active in court, especially for balances over $500. So why do they sue? Well, because it works. Most people, like 90% of people, don't show up to court. So then they get a default judgment against you and they can start collecting legally. And that means garnishing your wages, levying your bank account, maybe even putting liens on your property. So here's where it gets worse. Every debt has a statute of limitations, and that's that legal window of time where a creditor can file a lawsuit to collect. Now, this is going to vary by state. You'll need to check your state laws. Usually it's between 3 to 6 years, and in some states, I've seen it as long as 10 years. So you might be thinking, okay, cool, I'll just wait it out. I'll lay low. Wrong answer. The moment they file a lawsuit, even one day before the statute expires, the clock stops. And in many states, that gives the original creditor or the debt buyer additional time, like 10 years or more, to collect. And guess what? Judgments can be renewed, meaning your old $1,200 Capital One charge off could turn into a $4,000 one with interest and fees, and that can haunt you for a while. So let's talk about another big myth. Deleted does not mean safe. It's that idea that if you get a negative account removed from your credit report, you're safe. No, you're not, but you are uninformed. And that's not your fault. I mean, it's what the credit repair and credit gurus are teaching and celebrating. And a lot of those deletions are temporary suppressions, meaning the credit bureaus, they removed it because they just didn't hear back from the furnisher in time. It doesn't mean the debt went away, and it doesn't mean it's been forgiven. It doesn't even stop a lawsuit. And let me tell you, just because a furnisher does not respond to a credit bureau when you send a letter within like a 30-day time frame, so that they don't respond in 30 days, the credit bureaus, they'll remove the account, but there's no time limit as to when the original creditor or the debt collector, whoever has your account, there's no time limit as to when they have to respond to the credit bureau. So that's why a lot of you will see a debt pop back up, maybe in 30 days, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 2 years. That's one reason why. And if the debt buyer or the original creditor can still come back and sue you, and because it's not on your radar anymore, you're caught off guard. The credit bureaus are not in charge of lawsuits. They don't care if you're sued. And if the company that's holding your debt, well, they only care if they can profit from filing. And I see this happen time and time again. Someone gets a debt collection removed from their credit report. They think they're safe. They're celebrating, about to go and, try to buy a home or a car. And then boom, lawsuit. Because as long as they did not forgive the debt, the original creditor or the debt buyer, whoever holds the balance, as long as they didn't waive the balance, it is still active. So let's clear that up right now. Just because something is off your credit report does not mean the debt is dead. So here's what happens when you get sued. I'm going to talk to you about what happens when the original creditor or debt buyer, files a lawsuit. You get served either in person or by mail. If your address is not updated on your credit report or you've moved, you may not even know that you've been sued. They win a default judgment against you because you didn't show up. That judgment gets added to your record. Now they can garnish your wages, freeze your bank account, and add interest every year. So some of y'all are you're losing your tax refunds and you're getting your checks garnished because of a $2,000 collection that you ignored 3 years ago. So always keep your address updated with the credit bureaus. Always respond to court documents, even if you think it's not valid. Now let's talk about why they win. And for this, let's imagine we're in the courtroom. When debt collectors sue, what do they need to prove? It's a whole lot less than you think. They actually do not need to show the original contract or every single payment. If they're trying to prove that you owe a debt, they can show a judge something as simple as the billing statement, your payment history, or even your name and last four digits tied to a balance. That's usually enough for a judge. So if you go into court saying that's not my debt, they'll prove that it is on paper. But here is the game changer. What you really should be challenging is not whether the debt exists, but whether they have the legal right to collect it. And let me repeat that. Don't ask if you owe it, ask if they own it. And that's where the power shift happens. So I'm going to give you some real questions to ask. And I'm going to be real with you. Deleting an account from your credit report is not enough. The credit bureaus are not the ones pursuing you. The furnisher is. That is the party who is holding the balance. It could be the original creditor or it could be the debt buyer. And they don't care if it's showing up in your Experian credit report or not. So if you want to protect yourself, you really do need to go straight to the source and you need to start asking the right questions. One, is the debt collector licensed to collect in my state? Many are not. Some are even barred from collecting and they still try. Can they prove ownership of my account? Debt buyers purchase debt in bulk. Thousands of accounts in one spreadsheet. Just because your name is on that spreadsheet doesn't mean they have all of the paperwork. They need to be able to provide proof of transfer of your account from the original creditor to them. And they need to have all account level documentation. You can even ask the original creditor, are they still the legal owner? Many credit card companies, Capital One, Bank of America, Discover, they sell off accounts to investors. So if they've sold your account, they no longer have legal standing to sue or collect, even if they say they do, and they'll try. These are just some of the pressure points, and this is where you turn the tables. Because knowledge equals leverage. When you understand this, it changes everything. It's a game changer because now instead of sitting back and hoping the debt disappears, you can start taking strategic action. You can send validation requests and you'll know what to request. You can demand proof of ownership. You can look up a debt buyer's license in your state. If your state is a state that requires them to be licensed, you can look that up. You can check to see if they have violated the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, like trying to collect without proper documentation, failing to mark the account as disputed, or harassing you at inappropriate times. All of these things give you leverage to push back, leverage to negotiate on your terms, whether it ends up being a pay for delete, a settlement, or make them walk away completely. But none of this works if you just ignore the debt. Guys, hope is not a strategy, silence is not protection, and ignorance is not a defense. Now, this is where most people freeze because they don't know what to say, they don't know how to write the letters, they don't know who to send them to, and they don't know what to look for. And that's exactly why I created the Debt Defense Kit. It gives you the exact steps to take when a collection or charge off shows up, templates to validate the debt, challenge the ownership, and catch them slipping on violations. And then how you can protect yourself before a lawsuit hits your mailbox. Because if you wait until you've been sued, now you're on the defense. But if you challenge the debt before they take you to court, now you're on the offense. So if this video opened your eyes, hit like and subscribe for more real, no fluff tips on fighting back against debt collections the right way. And in my next videos, I'm going to show you how you can start challenging these debts and these debt buyers. So stay smart, stay aware, and take control of your credit before they do it for you.